So, welcome to our fourth day of the Free Your Authenticity Challenge. Today, we're going to be focusing on confidence, and I'm going to be teaching you some simple practices to embody it. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you may want to register for the whole series here so you get all 5 days worth of content. We are recording this live in the Falcon Healing Circle Facebook group. Hello, Rachel. Thank you for being on live with me. So hello to everyone who is live here. But yeah, if you're watching this later on YouTube, make sure you register for the whole challenge, because I did put up content earlier about confidence, and it's worth mentioning again that how it's related to authenticity is that it naturally comes about. We naturally feel more confident when we are being authentic, when we are living according to our values, and then when we start living our life purpose, when we start teaching and bringing our gifts out into the world that we're meant to be, that were written in this contract we had when we came to this planet, which many of us believe that there is such thing. So there is always an awkward phase though, right? When you are becoming more familiar with your authentic nature, because we all get disconnected at some point, right? That's why we're here. We know that there is something off and that there is work that can be done to reconnect. And so there's always this awkward phase of it being a little scary. And especially if you're just now becoming interested in what your life purpose is, and perhaps you know what it is right now, the steps that you take can also be scary. And so there can be this energy of fake it till you make it as you present yourself to the world in a very vulnerable way. And I feel like most people understand that. Most people see that you are humble. I mean, these are the keys for it to be successful. For you to really be able to live it is to be humble, like to be truthful to people that this is something you are learning, that it's really important to you, and that you're a student of life. And then not to overcompensate, not to pretend that you know it all and wait until, or not even wait, just it comes when it comes, right? And then to practice embodying it. So I'll give an example. I have many in my life, but you know that I've been teaching yoga for a long time. Of course, in the beginning, it was challenging. I knew I was completely aligned with this system, but it took many years of practicing before I felt comfortable teaching. And then it took a lot of teaching practice before that became comfortable and I became more confident. But there are things that I did that helped me show up every time, that I'll be teaching you today. Also, when I went to TCM school, I remember one day in the clinic, and I was pretty comfortable in the clinic because I was already used to talking to people with teaching yoga, and I came from a corporate background. So of course there was a lot of practice with that, even though I am an introvert. I am on the shy side. This is not totally comfortable for me, but my mission is stronger and I know my stuff. So that is what was showing through in the TCM clinics. I remember one day one of the students was working behind the desk and said to me, as one of my patients had left, he's like, wow, you're really confident. I wish I could be like that. And it was very flattering because I didn't feel that way completely yet. But I think just my presence showed that way, that I was set apart from other students by the way I carried myself, by the way I talked to my clients, and all the energy that I was carrying. Okay. And yeah, I know, Rachel, I saw your comment earlier, how you mentioned that it's your posture. We're going to be talking about that today and about what you teach with your your angel teachings, that you have been embodying that for so long. It's so much part of your life, and that's what's shining through. That's how we know you're an authentic teacher too. So hopefully you could tell with me too that I don't just memorize things and share them with you. Like, I am sharing part of my life, part of my spiritual practice that I do all the time. All right, friends. So yeah, so there is, I don't like that phrase, fake it till you make it. But these practices help because how you carry yourself, people can pick up on that energy. Okay? So they know you're not completely confident, but they know that you're trying. So they could see, and I've talked to yoga students about this before. So very simple. If I walked into a class and I had my shoulders forward like this, even just that changes the energy completely about me, right? And then if I were looking at the ground and having a hard time making eye contact with you, that says a lot about my energy too, right? Two simple fixes. So even if I'm not feeling completely confident, I can still make an effort to look at people, even if it's quick, even if I'm nervous, to lift my chest, to pull my shoulders back, and to shine. You then shine automatically. So not only does your body share your energy, but changing your body changes your energy. Okay? We could say the same about the breath. Okay, the breath, when we notice we're breathing shallow, that's saying a lot. That's saying that we are stressed out, that our energy is high, that we're more involved with the external world, less in contact with our breathing, with our body. But if we are consciously changing the breath, we settle down. We're more embodied. Okay, so you see how it works both ways? Okay, so that's what I'm going to teach you today. 3 simple things. Thank you, Rachel. Yes, changing your body totally changes your energy. And again, this is about presence. All right, so the first one is posture, and these just came to me the other day. Posture, presence, which I just said, and power, which we have talked about many times here already. Huge theme when we're talking about authenticity. So one moment as I adjust things here, so you can see my whole body, which does make a difference. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me okay, even though I am walking way over here now. Okay, so you can see my feet, you can see my whole body. So first with posture. Again, we talked about the slumped shoulders, the head down, looking down. Unfortunately, we're all doing this a lot with our phones these days, or even on the computer. So of course we need to fix that. And that's where people may overcompensate when they're trying to be confident in a crowd, is to puff the chest open and look up, but still the energy is still uplifted. And as we'll get into when we talk about power, grounding is super important. So when we're talking about posture, I like focusing from the feet upward. So the essential yoga posture that everyone should know so well, that many students are reluctant to do because it looks so boring, is Tadasana, mountain pose. We also call it Samastiti in the Ashtanga practice, which translates as equal standing. Equal standing. So we'll stand with our feet, hip joint width apart, and I'm going to show you from the side after that. So we're going to feel that we're in the very center of each foot. So you can rock back and forth onto the heel, onto the toes, and then feel that you are right in the center. Let the knees be slightly soft, so not locking the knees. And I used to stand like that a lot when I was younger, locked knees, whole body forward. That's where my energy was. Momentum forward in life. Here, knees are soft. There's a settling feeling into the feet. When you do that, automatically your tail drops a bit. So there's a slight tucking under of the pelvis, a lower sense of gravity. You'll feel your belly stretch open as you do that too. And then from here, we can let the spine straighten up. Feel like you're being pulled up by the very top of your head, like someone is pulling your hair gently here, like you're a marionette hanging from the ceiling. So your spine is lifting up, but then your arms, as you roll your shoulders back gently, they're just hanging down, like hanging on a hanger. Just feel into this for a moment. Equal standing pose. What does that mean to you? Again, equally standing on both feet, balanced left and right. We're not feeling like we're too far forward or too far back. And like I was saying with my body, I always need to bring myself more back and settle down. So you may notice an imbalance. Arms are hanging, relaxed. Legs are heavy. But we're feeling this lift upward through the chest, through the crown of the head, like we're a flower growing upward toward the sun. Okay, so when you are trying to embody confidence, you can think of those points. Centered over the feet, tail heavy toward the heels, chest lifted, crown of the head lifted. You're equal, your energy is spread out in every direction, not too far, still contained. Okay, which we'll talk about with power in a moment. So next is presence. So automatically when you make those adjustments, again, I feel centered now. So that shows with my presence. Grounding helps with making eye contact. Because again, being a slightly shy, not totally shy, but slightly shy person, that's hard for me. And when I'm not feeling grounded, when I'm really distracted, I have a hard time. And I've noticed this with my qigong teacher I see for energy healing too. When I would go to his house for sessions, a few times I noticed this, that I'd be like, hi, and just like getting on the table as fast as possible. And then afterwards, I felt like I was more there with him. I could look at him in the eye. I now wanted to sit and talk. Like there was no urgency. I was in the moment. So grounding helps us with presence too, which is about being in the moment. Okay? So as you're doing Tadasana, as you're practicing mindful standing and then mindful walking from that, or any type of movement where you're still paying attention to these cues of maintaining your posture and staying present, working with the breath is going to help, because the breath is always present with you. And then you can be more present with other people, with the situations, with the task at hand, and that is going to show greater confidence. Okay, so just points about that with presence. But actually, let's go a little further. So I'm going to teach you the Wuji Posture in qigong. So with this, we're going to have our feet a little wider than the hips, and we're going to bend the knees more strongly than we did in Tadasana. Okay, we're talking about two different systems now. That was yoga, this is qigong. There's a difference. So our knees are bent here, but still pressed out over the ankles. I'll show you from this side now. Tail is more strongly released toward the floor, and my lower back is actually flattening at this point, that the pelvis is tucked under so much that is flattening. And so you can feel that there's more engagement in the belly. And again, we're going to get to that with power. Okay, so you feel that, and then let your arms hang down as we were doing in Tadasana. Crown of the head reaching up toward the ceiling. And you can feel, let's imagine that there are roots growing down through the feet. As far as you can imagine. Notice how that changes your energy, your posture. Maybe you noticed you are settled a bit lower. That was my cat who wants out right now. Okay, so we're strongly connected with the earth here. And then awareness at the crown of the head. We can open that energy center up. Reaching up to the sun, the stars, the moon, the sky, the heavens, source energy. So we call this the Wuji Posture. It's called infinite. It's translated as infinite nothingness. Because we are finding ourselves in this void between these two different poles. We're a man or woman on this earth supported by these two different energies. And so presence can also mean that you're constantly reminded of this. That your presence is a result, a manifestation of these two different energies. Okay, this is going to bring more confidence to your presence because there is purpose behind it. You were made for a reason, and you are fully supported on your path. Okay, go ahead and relax. We'll get back into that again in a moment. Okay, so the third point is power. And again, we've been talking about this all week because authenticity is personal power. It equates to that. And we feel this more strongly in yoga, in qigong, in martial arts too, because of our emphasis on the core. So energetically, in qigong, the power center is our lower dantian. This is the lower belly region. But in yoga, it has to do with the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus chakras, energy centers, okay? In qigong, it's simplified and it's all one condensed power center. This is what we're engaging with martial arts too. And this is why we have the knees bent so strongly here in those systems and in qigong, is to lower our sense of gravity. So I am tapping into this as I'm talking to you right now as well. Whenever I'm teaching, I slow down, I ground, and I'm feeling into this center. Otherwise, this would be very hard for me to do. Because if you know me outside of this, like I can get really excited and my energy is up and I'm not at all connected here. So it's always a remembering, okay, that this is the power center. This is what we're moving from. This is what we are speaking from. This is what we are teaching from. when we are building our inner power and expressing our authentic self. So this is our gut, related to our gut feeling too. This is safety, security. It's all coming from the inside that we build up, okay? This bank of power. So let's come back to the Wuji position. Again, pelvis tucked under, and that's how you feel the lower dantian engage. And let's just do a simple movement with the breath. As you inhale, can let the arms expand out, feeling the armpits hollow out here, moving the arms out with some resistance. And then resist again as you imagine you're condensing an energy ball in toward the lower dantian. Maybe you could feel that energy being thicker, stronger, more condensed. And just 2 more times like this. Inhaling, feeling that energy widen, expand out. And then exhale, condensing in. So 1 more time like this, inhaling out. Exhale, condensing in. You can imagine now you're putting that energy ball into the body, into the lower dantian here. And let's do at least 1 more movement with this. And I'll show you this from the side. So now relaxing the arms down. This is actually a good movement for the large intestine and digestion in general. So on an inhalation, we're going to lift the arms up, bend the elbows, and you're going to bend the knees more. And as the elbows come in, they're moving in toward your lower belly. And then as you exhale, we're going to swing the arms forward. Let your posture come a little more forward. So inhaling, wait, I may have the breath messed up. Let me do this a few times. Okay, no, I had it mixed up. So as you exhale, elbows come in. So you're exhaling all the breath out. And then as you inhale, we come forward and let it fill again. So a few times like this with some momentum. Maybe exhaling out through the mouth will be stronger. Okay, so you're strongly contracting your belly as you're exhaling and bringing your energy down. This is what you're moving from when you're doing like kickboxing or a key up in martial arts, like, yeah. It's this action. You're exhaling out as you pull the belly in, and the power is moving from that. Okay, so that is something that you can play with too. I think that's good enough. That's enough for you to practice on your own. So let me know how this worked for you. Okay, thank you, Rachel. I didn't see that before. I was assuming you could hear me. So make sure you engage with this video, like it, love it, comment, same with the previous post, and you can win this Confidence Blend Essential Oil. So this one has Tiger's Eye in it, the Tiger's Eye crystal, which is great for embodying confidence. And the essential oil blend that's in it is bergamot, frankincense, the doTERRA metabolic blend, that's the Slim and Sassy blend, and peppermint. So it's another strong smelling essential oil, and it smells really good too. So see, we have a few viewers. Does anyone have questions before we end today? Let me know. So I'll be on the computer here for a little bit. Let me know and I will answer those questions. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. So tomorrow is our last day, and I'm going to help you integrate all of this. And I have some other points that you can be thinking of as you are trying to be more authentic, finding your authentic nature and bringing it out into the world. Okay? So I will see you then, friends. Take care.